After a day of lots of driving at Big Bend, I really wanted to get out and be more active on the last day of my trip. I chose to make the short drive up to Davis Mountain State Park for a morning of hiking with the dogs. The state park is in Fort Davis, which is a small town of approximately 1,200 people. It's a really cute little town, and it's known for the Fort Davis National Historic Site. Fort Davis was originally established in 1854, and today they have 24 restored historic buildings from the fort and over 100 ruins and foundations. And you can go on a self-guided tour, and I believe they have reenactments there. Dogs aren't allowed, so I didn't go, but I did see it as I drove by towards the state park. In 1933, the land was designated as Davis Mountain State Park. It consists of 2,700 acres, and the area is popular for camping, hiking, and they also have trails where horses are allowed. I chose to hike the Indian Lodge Loop Trail, which is only about 2.5 miles, but it is a bit rocky. I saw no one else on the trail during our hike, which made it very peaceful, and the views from the top were exceptional. Although the hike was really nice, it was not without incident. Nico stepped on one of these cactus plants and was very good about letting me pull it out of his foot, and then I scraped my leg. But besides that, it was a great morning, and I highly recommend it. I know there's some reviews out there that say the hike is too steep or too difficult. It's really not that bad. It's just a little bit rocky. And I want to say something because I know somebody will comment, somebody will send me a message. Yes, I did end up having Nico off leash for a short period of time. The path was pretty narrow and rocky. I didn't want to stumble. He was on an e-collar. He was in complete control at all times, and we were the only ones there. So please cut me a little slack. I am a rule follower, but sometimes I break those a little bit. So be kind. We saw some deer out there as well. I was barely able to catch a quick video of this guy. Sorry, I'm not that great at pulling out the camera quickly, but I will get better, I promise. Of course, when we made it to the top, we had to stop for a little photo op. Not a bad little view. Historically, the Davis Mountains area was occupied by the Apaches. They used the mountains and canyons area as a sanctuary, and the Olympia Creek provided water for them year-round. And in 1846, after the war with Mexico, there was a ton of people settling the area looking for gold and trading. And as the West Texas settlements increased, they needed protection from outside threats, and that's when they created Fort Davis Army Post. And Fort Davis was active from 1854 until 1891, except for certain periods during the Civil War. And then, of course, as I stated earlier, the land became the state park in 1933. Now, if I were to compare today's hike on Davis Mountain State Park's trail compared to my trip yesterday through Big Bend, I would say Big Bend is by far more beautiful and vast and amazing. It's spectacular. Davis Mountain State Park is fun. You can actually get out and enjoy it with your dogs. So it's just completely different experiences. If you can do both, do both. If you can do one, do Big Bend. And before we started our drive home, I thought I would do a quick walkthrough of Alpine. This is where we stayed at our Airbnb during our trip, and it's a pretty cute little town. There's not a whole lot there, but definitely a good central area if you wanted to see Big Bend, if you wanted to go to Davis Mountain State Park, drive over to the gallery town of Marfa. So it's a pretty good little central spot for you. Between 1878 and 1882, Alpine was a camping town used by cattlemen tending their herds. And then later in 1888, the name changed to Alpine. Its proximity to the railroad actually spurred a little bit more growth, and then followed by the development of Big Bend National Park in the 1930s and 40s. It grew further. The population is now estimated at about 6,000 people, and it still is home to the Sul Ross State University, and it does have a hospital, library, and that's about it. A museum. That's it. It's cute. And of course, after our little stroll through Alpine, we took the nice long drive back home. It was a wonderful trip. I had so much fun with the dogs. Thank you so much for coming with us.